Hey everybody, this is my drawing of a Mardi Gras parade here. It's about 18 by 24 inches, it's full color, and it's already down at the gallery in New Orleans if you want to check it out. But this is sort of an iconic scene of the uptown parades, especially on Canal Street. There's a full marching band, there's crowds in the foreground, the middle ground, and background, up on the balconies and everything. I knew I wanted the street lamp, I wanted a little barricade with people in the foreground, and the parade float that looks like a riverboat. And I wanted the text in there somewhere, as well as the face of the float there with the jester hat on. Just makes for an iconic piece. So here's the finished black and white drawing before adding the color to it, and I just add the colored pencil right on top. And here's how I start the piece out. I just kind of go through and pick all the blacks that I need, the darks. And I feel once I get those sort of stationed out, then I can sort of render more and bring out the form of the piece. And at this stage, I know where all the general shapes are, but I leave the sort of drawing up to this stage because it's something that I look forward to. And as I make the piece, there's still a lot of questions to answer. The pen I'm using is a black pen with a really fine nib on it. I think it's carbon black ink. It is used in refillable cartridges in the stem there. And I just kind of scratch along and fill the darks that way. And I'll go over these again, but this is just the initial planning of where all the darks are, and it allows me to get more detail in the shadows, leaving more bright to the white there. And the black part up here on the top left corner, I feel is a good compositional device because it's like a dark, almost flat shape with the background of the night sky there, because it's a good contrast and sort of a side pocket or a corner pocket of this composition. And your eye sort of goes there and then it goes off to reading the text, or it goes back down even towards the crowd. And everywhere along this composition there's a ton of people, but in this top left corner there's a bunch of people on this balcony here, and a light, and it's sort of this, I picture this flaming trickle of light coming from the many different sources, but especially the top lantern up there. Now these people will have some detail, but they won't be a lot of detail because I don't want you to really focus on that. I sort of just want you to be shown by them to look the other way. So they'll have some drawing, but they won't be as detailed and pronounced as some of the other characters in the foreground. And I think it just adds to the depth of the scene here. Here I'm using a different pen. This is a brush pen, a black brush pen from Japan. This is a great way to up your contrast of the piece and to really give a new, revived sort of illumination to the composition here. You can see that it's starting to come alive really well with the light hitting off of the ground, I guess, and showing the marching band sort of roaring past this crowd. Yeah, now is definitely the time to start finishing the details of the final composition of each little drawing in the piece here. As you can see, this is the finished black and white, and you can tell where some of that black marker was and everything, and now I've purposely left a lot of white in the lights because I know I'm going to be putting a local color there. Oh yeah, so please stay tuned. The next portion of the video, we're going to be looking at the color treatment here. The different execution of color here with the colored pencils. As you can see, I've already started with the yellow and the blue and the green. And the pink as well. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're doing a parade drawing of New Orleans is there's so much color everywhere, there's so much energy, and just all this mixed, matched, kind of garish color everywhere, shining and metallic and, like, you know, cheap and good costumes and bad costumes, and all this color is sort of fluttering around the atmosphere. So that's what's in my mind as I do this, like, how can I portray this in an authentic way? And so I think I'm well on my way here. Now, when I often work, I sort of rotate the picture around a lot. I change the angle, and, you know, almost like looking at your drawing in a mirror, you can sort of see things that you didn't necessarily see before. If you change up the angle, you can sort of see your drawing a little new here and there, you know. Now, as you can see, I'm just adding a bunch of colors, sort of pushing and pull of the warm and cools, sort of using that tool in the picture to direct your eye where I think it should go. Now I'm just taking the colored pencil and literally drawing all over the black and white drawing here. The darks show up by themselves really well, and the colored pencils really lay down on the whites really well and show the luminosity of the rendered drawings. So giving each little vignette their own little color spark there. Now I really like what I did with the type here with all different colors, and it kind of looks a little dirty in a way, which totally fits the theme. So after looking at it, it's I got a lot of yellow, a lot of blue, but now I'm adding a lot of orange because it's going to help to give a lot of warmth to the piece. There's a lot of, like, kind of artificial light and fire in New Orleans, and so that adds to the, like, this kind of gold effect. And I know I'm going to be adding a gold pen and like a gold marker in this, and the orange helps to give a good baseline for that, like a good local tone for that. So here's the gold pen. I'm just really just going over all the things that I just want gold, right? Like, I've left a lot of white space for the gold on purpose. So this will have a great effect because not only is the piece full color, but it's also almost full texture because the musical instruments, you know, are metallic. They're gold. They're, you know, and the beads are like a metallic. So I think it adds a nice texture to the piece. Alright everybody, so it looks like this piece is coming to a close. I love all the colors all over it, giving way to the subtle nuances of all the little vignettes of the parade here. Just a few last touches with the pink, but I'll show the thumbnails of my initial concept sketch of this, and you can see that it's pretty close to the final piece. And I think that's what you need to make a successful image. And so here's the tour of the final piece here. I love all the scratchiness. It almost looks like an etching in a way, which is great. I love that sort of separation feel on a drawing. And yeah, so thank you all for watching so much. I really appreciate it. And feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about this. Do you want to see more of this stuff? Do you want to see more of my quick drawings, my sketches? I do a lot of paintings as well, but yeah, thank you so much. Stay tuned for more.